At 17,600 feet above sea level, Russian television personality Viktoria Bonya collapsed at Everest Base Camp. Her oxygen saturation had dropped to 50%, half of what her body needed to survive. She could not walk 200 meters without her arms and legs going numb. That night, she slept with bottled oxygen just to avoid the terrifying sensation that she might stop breathing in her sleep. This was not supposed to happen. Bonya had spent over $1 million assembling what should have been an impenetrable safety net. Elite guides, dedicated Sherpas, unlimited oxygen supplies, satellite communication systems, money that could have funded dozens of traditional expeditions. Yet there she was, dying at base camp before the real climb even began. The mountain had exposed the first lie of celebrity Everest climbing. No amount of money can buy acclimatization. But Bonya's near-death experience reveals a much darker truth about what celebrity expeditions are doing to Everest itself. The $1 million lie is just the beginning. The real cost is not measured in dollars, but in human lives and the permanent destruction of the mountain's ethical code. We will break down the deadly arithmetic of this corruption and show you the one moment where Bonya's money failed completely, forcing her to confront a truth she could not buy her way out of. Viktoria Bonya's expedition budget tells the real story of how celebrity climbs operate. The $1 million price tag breaks down into a logistics operation that would make military planners nervous. Personal Sherpa teams at ratios of 3-to-1. Dedicated oxygen supplies consuming 15 to 20 bottles per client compared to the standard 6-to-8. Satellite phones, weather monitoring systems, and helicopter evacuation insurance that costs more than most people's homes. Traditional Everest expeditions operate on brutal efficiency. Climbers share resources, rotate through camps, and accept calculated risks. The arithmetic is simple because it has to be. Too much weight slows everyone down. Too many people create traffic jams in the death zone. Too much equipment means someone dies carrying it. Celebrity expeditions shatter this arithmetic entirely. When Bonya returned for her second attempt, her support team had effectively built a parallel expedition system. While other climbers shared fixed ropes and established camps, her team installed private anchor points and dedicated rest stations. The oxygen arithmetic alone reveals the problem. A standard climber uses supplemental oxygen for roughly 18 hours during summit day. Celebrity clients often require oxygen support from base camp upward, consuming resources for 72 hours or more. This creates a cascade of resource competition that affects everyone on the mountain. Sherpa teams get pulled away from community safety projects to serve individual VIP clients. Rope teams, traditionally a shared responsibility, become understaffed as guides focus on high-paying celebrity contracts. Weather windows that should accommodate multiple teams get monopolized by slower-moving VIP expeditions. The false safety net extends beyond equipment and into human resources. Bonya's expedition required dedicated medical personnel, communication specialists, and logistics coordinators. These aren't luxuries. At those altitudes, they become life support systems for clients pushing far beyond their physiological limits. The mountain does not care about your net worth, but it will kill you if you arrive unprepared. Celebrity expeditions solve this problem by surrounding the unprepared client with so much support infrastructure that failure becomes someone else's responsibility. Yet the economics create their own deadly pressure. Million-dollar expeditions cannot afford to fail. The financial investment, media attention, and sponsor commitments create a psychological environment where turning back becomes almost impossible. When Bonya collapsed at base camp, the pressure to continue was not just personal, it was financial. Expedition leaders, Sherpa teams, and support staff had all invested in her success. The mountain had become a business transaction that demanded completion regardless of conditions. This economic pressure transforms decision-making in the death zone. Traditional climbers turn back when conditions deteriorate because survival outweighs summit ambitions. Celebrity expeditions face different mathematics. The cost of failure is not just disappointment, it is financial catastrophe for multiple parties. Guides risk their reputations, Sherpa teams lose future contracts, support companies face insurance claims and legal liability, contribute to a systematic erosion of safety margins that affects everyone on the mountain. Celebrity expeditions consume disproportionate rescue resources when things go wrong. Nepal's helicopter rescue capacity, already stretched thin, gets monopolized by high-profile evacuations. Ground-based rescue teams abandon other climbers to focus on VIP clients whose insurance policies guarantee priority treatment. The environmental cost multiplies exponentially. Celebrity expeditions generate roughly 3 times the waste of traditional climbs. Unused oxygen bottles, abandoned equipment, and helicopter fuel consumption create an ecological footprint that the mountain cannot absorb. The Khumbu icefall, already dangerous, becomes a garbage highway for discarded luxury equipment that teams cannot carry down. But the most insidious cost is cultural. Everest's climbing community traditionally operated on mutual aid and shared risk. Celebrity expeditions introduce a 2-tier system where money determines safety margins. Experienced climbers watch resources get diverted to protect clients who should not be there. The mountain's unforgiving equality gets replaced by economic hierarchy. Success gets redefined from survival to transaction completion. This resource diversion creates deadly bottlenecks throughout the mountain. Traffic management in the death zone becomes impossible when celebrity expeditions monopolize weather windows. The Hillary Step and other technical sections, where only one climber can progress at a time, become fatal choke points. Experienced mountaineers navigate these obstacles in minutes. Celebrity clients often require 30 to 45 minutes with extensive support, creating deadly delays and increasing risk for everyone. Queues of dozens of climbers are exposed to death zone conditions. The environmental destruction multiplies exponentially. Celebrity expeditions generate roughly 3 times the waste of traditional climbs. Helicopter fuel consumption for VIP evacuations burns more aviation fuel than entire traditional expeditions consume during months-long approaches. The mountain becomes a luxury equipment graveyard where unused oxygen bottles and high-tech gear get abandoned when clients cannot carry them during descent. When Viktoria Bonya finally reached 26,000 feet on her second attempt, her celebrity status became irrelevant. The death zone operates on physics, not fame. At that altitude, atmospheric pressure drops to 1/3 of sea level values. The human body begins dying immediately. Cells start consuming themselves for energy. Brain function deteriorates within hours. No amount of social media followers changes this biological countdown. Bonya's 40-hour summit push reveals the brutal reality that celebrity expeditions try to hide. While her support team carried extra oxygen and established private rest points, her body still had to climb every vertical foot. The death zone does not offer shortcuts for VIP clients. Each step above 26,000 feet burns roughly 300 calories. The human body can only process about 200 calories per hour at that altitude. The arithmetic is fatal. Climbers literally consume themselves to reach the summit. Traditional mountaineers understand this equation. They train for years to maximize their body's efficiency in the death zone. They practice moving fast with minimal gear because speed equals survival above 26,000 feet. Celebrity clients arrive with different preparation. Their training focuses on endurance rather than efficiency. They plan to survive the death zone through resource consumption rather than physiological adaptation. This creates a deadly mismatch between human biology and expedition strategy. Bonya's team carried enough supplemental oxygen to keep her alive for extended periods in the death zone. But oxygen masks cannot prevent cerebral edema. Bottled air cannot stop the body's cellular breakdown. The death zone kills through multiple pathways simultaneously. Altitude sickness, hypothermia, exhaustion, and dehydration work together to shut down human systems. So, if the mountain doesn't negotiate and the body is consuming itself, how did Bonya survive a 40-hour summit push that should have been physiologically impossible? The answer is a single, controversial piece of equipment that only money can afford. Bonya encountered this reality firsthand during her summit attempt. Despite unlimited financial resources and dedicated support teams, she still experienced the hallucinations and disorientation that plague all death zone climbers. Her social media background couldn't help her navigate in whiteout conditions. Her television experience provided no advantage when her oxygen regulator froze. The mountain stripped away every external identity until only basic human survival remained. The psychological pressure of celebrity expeditions actually increases death zone risks. Traditional climbers can turn back without shame when conditions deteriorate. Celebrity clients face different pressures. Media commitments, sponsor expectations, and public attention create psychological barriers to retreat intensify. The death zone becomes a stage where failure means more than personal disappointment. It means professional catastrophe. This pressure leads to extended exposure times that multiply physiological risks. Celebrity climbers often spend 12 to 15 hours above 26,000 feet, compared to 8 to 10 hours typical for experienced mountaineers. Each additional hour in the death zone increases the probability of fatal complications exponentially. The body's reserves get consumed. Judgment deteriorates. Simple tasks become impossible. Weather windows that experienced climbers use efficiently get extended beyond safe limits to accommodate celebrity timelines. The jet stream winds that create brief climbing opportunities do not care about filming schedules or media deadlines. When conditions deteriorate, traditional expeditions retreat immediately. Celebrity teams often push forward because the financial and reputational costs of failure outweigh the physical risks of continuing. Despite the million-dollar safety net, Viktoria Bonya's eventual success came only after the mountain had delivered its verdict on celebrity climbing. Her first attempt ended in complete physiological collapse at base camp. The unlimited resources, dedicated medical staff, and premium equipment could not prevent her oxygen saturation from dropping to life-threatening levels. The mountain had spoken clearly. Money cannot buy acclimatization. When Bonya returned for her second attempt, she approached Everest differently. Gone was the conquest mentality typical of celebrity expeditions. She began referring to the peak by its Tibetan name, Chomo Lungma, which means Divine Mother of Life. Her social media posts shifted from triumphant declarations to humble requests for the mountain's permission. This was not marketing strategy. It was survival adaptation forced by a near-death experience. The bodies scattered throughout the death zone provide permanent testimony to the mountain's final judgment. Rainbow Valley earned its name from the brightly colored gear worn by climbers who never returned. These are not just statistics or cautionary tales. They represent individuals who possessed resources, determination, and support systems. They died because Everest does not negotiate with human ambition, regardless of funding levels. Green Boots, the most famous corpse on Everest's northeast ridge, once had a name, family, and dreams of summit success. Now he serves as a navigation landmark for climbers stepping over his frozen body. The mountain transformed a human being into a geographical feature. This transformation awaits every climber who mistakes financial preparation for physiological readiness. Bonya's 40-hour summit push revealed the mountain's indifference to celebrity status. Despite her support team's best efforts, she still hallucinated from oxygen deprivation. Her television experience provided no advantage when her regulator froze. Her social media following could not generate the red blood cells needed to function above 26,000 feet. The death zone stripped away every external identity until only basic human survival remained. Weather patterns demonstrate Everest's ultimate authority over human schedules. The jet stream winds that create brief climbing windows operate on atmospheric physics, not media deadlines. When conditions deteriorate, the mountain kills indiscriminately. Celebrity clients face the same hypothermia, altitude sickness, and exhaustion that claim traditional climbers. The only difference is the cost of their failure. Everest's final verdict on celebrity climbing appears in the growing number of abandoned expeditions and emergency evacuations. The mountain exposes the fundamental lie that money can purchase mountaineering competence. Each celebrity near miss demonstrates that respect for the mountain's limits matters more than expedition budgets. The bodies in the death zone prove this lesson with permanent clarity. Everest exposes the ultimate limits of what money can buy. The mountain doesn't care about net worth, social media followers, or expedition budgets. At 29,032 feet, only physiological preparation and respect for natural limits determine survival. Subscribe for more forensic breakdowns of mountaineering's deadliest realities.